Kids today don't take advantage of the opportunities they're given. And I say that, and I don't say it lightly, because I came from nothing myself. I was very blessed that I had two loving parents that mortgaged their city bungalow to their 21-year-old son to become a trader on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, to watch him 3 weeks later blow up the house and another $50,000 on top of it. So you can imagine what it was like to understand to lose $150,000 at 21 years of age, and you just lost your mom and dad's house. So kind of a tough way to start your career. But it gave me a lot of discipline. And with that discipline, it's helped me in everything I've done through life. And then I went on to continue to trade. I had a guy that came up to me, he was my mentor, his name was Vincent Schreiber. And Vince said to me, he says, I'm not going to give you any money to pay back the debt, but what I'm going to do is give you my reputation to the clearinghouse so that they won't take your mom and dad's house. And to me, that was really, I was really taken back, because first of all, I wanted the money. I didn't want his reputation, right? I wanted to pay off the debt, but I didn't. And I worked 3 jobs, traded during the day, and taught me a tremendous amount of discipline about life and how to make the right decisions. Too many young people today want instant gratification, and it's an easy thing to do because that's the world that we live in. And trading is no different. Trading is a very instant gratification type business. It moves in microseconds today. You heard Doc Sander talk about how time was compressed from 30 minutes to 15 minutes, down to even shorter. Now we're in microseconds, how about time is going. But the problem is, I think a lot of young people are looking at it going, I want what you have today. A friend of mine got a job. He's making $50,000 a year out of college. I want to make $50,000 a year out of college, but yet I'm only got a job that's paying me $35,000 a year. I like to tell young people, well, look at your road of where that $35,000 is going to go. Don't look right here at the 50. Look where the 35 could take you. Your friend might be in a job for 50. He might make it to 60. You might make it to 50 million. Only because you don't know where it's going to take you. So the only way you're ever going to get ahead of the game is to have a vision on what you want to do. And you have to be very happy in what you want to do. And then the economics will come along with that. I see so many people that are, their life is full of stories today of people doing the wrong things and taking shortcuts in life, especially in business. They lose their moral compass, and you wonder why. I'm convinced they know why. I should be a psychiatrist too. I'm convinced they know why. Because they're unhappy. They were either handed something to them, or they got it so damn easy that they never had to work for it, that when it didn't work out, they took the shortcut in order to get what they originally were getting to start with. We have another situation that just came on our radar today, a couple days ago, at SAC, Steve Cohn. Here's a guy that's being convicted of insider trading. He just bought a $60 million home in the Hamptons. He's got XYZ, done all these big things. How in the world could he be doing insider trading? Why would you do insider trading? Why would you take the shortcut? I don't believe that shortcut that he took, if in fact he did, happened in the last 2 months. It happened 30 years ago. It happened when he was your age, when he was thinking about what is he going to do with his life. So I really think it's important for young people that have opportunities and internships to really appreciate them, respect them, and have a long-term vision on where you want to go. And you've got to be happy. It's so hard. I was going to be a policeman in Chicago. I really thought that was my destination. Why? Because every one of my neighbors was either coppers or firemen. That's where I grew up. So we're all going to be the same thing. And no, I'm not. I'm doing something completely different, obviously. My job started, and I was a trader. I've been a trader for 20-some odd years, and I went into management at the CME in 2002 and took the company public. Doc talks about a lot of figures and facts. When I took over at CME, we had $60 million in the bank. We were an exchange owned by its members. The memberships were worth about $400,000 apiece. Today, we're a $26 billion market cap company. We're sitting on about $1.5 billion in cash. We own exchanges around the world, and that's all happened in the last 10 years. The frustrating part for you folks is your age. You're thinking, all I've seen since I've been old enough to understand technology is how bad it is out there. Unemployment's gone up since you've all kind of focused on your careers. Markets have been all over the place since you've been focused on your careers. Housing market crashes, 2008 happened, 2009. These are all really bad things. Let me tell you the good news. The good news that the highest paying jobs in the United States of America are held by baby boomers. Those people are born, well, they're my age and a little bit older. So I'm 54, so anywhere from, say, 51 to, 60 some odd years of age, whatever that group is. So three things are going to happen to people of my age and my caliber called baby boomers, who are holding a big part of the jobs down. They're going to become disabled, they're going to retire, or they're going to die. Those are just three facts of life that are going to happen to a huge part of the workforce of the United States of America. That opens up a huge opportunity for people of your age. So now, take the opportunity that you're being given as interns and really focus on the next 10 years, not the next 10 minutes. Because it's just crazy what the opportunities can be, because the job openings out there, technology is going to displace a lot of people. That already happened. Now we need skilled workers, good minds. Not just in the medical field, not just in technology. We're going to need it in insurance. We're going to need it in other fields. We're going to need it in our world of futures trading. So I think the world is really, as they say, your oyster, and I would hope that you would take advantage of that as you go through this internship and go through programs like you're doing here with John. Talk a little bit about the CME. It's been a remarkable couple of years. I'm a big guy that believes in branding. And in my world, I have a hard time getting some of my board members excited about branding. Why is that? 95% of our trade is institutional business, not retail folks. So it's really hard to advertise or brand to institutional folks. Normally, most people like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and others, they're branding to us, the retail folks. I see it a little bit differently. If I told you the New York Stock Exchange, you all say, I know who the New York Stock Exchange is. Is that a pretty fair assessment of everybody that understands who the New York Stock Exchange is? If I told you what the relevance of the New York Stock Exchange was today, you would not believe it. But because of their brand, they don't get bogged down or put into situations where other institutions may be. Because it's an iconic brand. It's motherhood and apple pie. It's part of the U.S. financial makeup. So I'm a big believer in the CME Group, which has been around for 168 years. We need to be part of that. That's what it's all about, is making certain that your brand, when you walk in there, they say it's the CME Group. What do? They're the good guys. That's right. They're a neutral facilitator of price movements. They don't care if it goes up or it goes down. And that's what we do. We do pays and collects twice daily, mark to market, back and forth, $14 billion a day. Boom, boom, back it goes, everything's good. That's really a good system. So brand is important to let people understand how you do that. We had a thing, as you may or may not know, called MF Global. MF Global was catastrophic in our world. We've never had a blemish like that where someone's actually gone in and taken customer money, segregated monies, and used them for their own benefit for their other positions. It happened. So some would said the CME is the designated self-regulatory organization for MF Global, so you must be at fault too. Well, we got falsified records. We were duped like everybody else. But when they filed bankruptcy, one important thing happened. They had $5.5 billion in customer segregated monies. On the day they filed bankruptcy, I was holding $2.2 billion of it. The day after bankruptcy, I still had $2.2 billion of it. We didn't lose any of MF Global's clients' money. We kept it and kept our promise. What happened was other people used it for other positions that they weren't supposed to do. So anyway, a very difficult process, but you have to go ahead and brand your company so people know not to point at you. I just think that's important. So any of you that are looking to go into branding, the value in that is just immense, but the problem with it is no one knows how to put a value around it. So it's a tough field. Our volumes have come back significantly. Energy trading has been amazing over the last couple of years. But the problem is in our world, we all look for the shiny object in the room and we blame it because it's the easiest thing in the world to do. So as you're going through life and you're going through businesses, as you're working through your careers, think about that. Because there are shiny objects in the room you want to blame. So have a good focus, have a really good moral compass. And I swear it will take you a long, long way. You may not make all the money in day one. You may not make it in day two. You might never make it. But hopefully you're all happy as you go through your careers, because that's more than half the battle.